I want to take the easier path to success. And I know what you might be thinking. That sounds a bit contradictory. Everything online says you need to take the hard path, you need to work as hard as possible, conquer all your, obstacles, and then you can achieve the thing you want, whether that be money, a relationship, fulfillment, things like that. There's nuance to that, because yes, you need to work hard and you need to give everything your all, but oftentimes there's different paths that will get you to the same outcome, and each path may vary in difficulty. For example, if you want to kick a soccer ball into a goal, you can't just kick it straight in. Let's say the ball is here, the goal is here, you just kick it. Or you can do some weird trick where you do a flip and you spin the ball and you try and bounce it off the rim and get it into the goal. You could do that, but ultimately the outcome is the same, which is the ball went into the net. And so it's kind of the same thing with success in life as well. Let's just use making money as an example. Right now, my role as a YouTube strategist involves working for a channel with 1 million subscribers. That's the channel up there, that plug. So for that role, there is just a lot of thinking that's required. Like, we think very deeply about things. We try and map everything out and really try and we basically try and turn YouTube into a scientific experiment, run hypotheses, gradually reiterate and make the channel as good as possible. That's what we try and do. And it is a lot of taxing mental work, a lot of coordination, a lot of discussion. But in terms of actually achieving the outcome, I'll be honest with you, I'm not paid a lot. And that's part of the reason. I'm okay with that because I am learning. But at the same time, I'm aware that if my goal was to make money, there's much easier ways to do that. Now, when I say easy, there's nuance, because I'm not saying that everyone can just, lie on bed and make money. That's not what I'm saying. You still have to work hard in both cases. So in both cases, you still have to take the physical effort to kick the ball into the net. But the way you do that can be straightforward, or it can be this windy way that doesn't actually lead to your goal. It may lead to other things. For example, if you want to do that flip and kick it off the rim, if that's the goal you want to achieve in life, like being able to do a flip and kick the ball in, sure. But if your goal is just to get the ball into the goal, ball into the soccer goal, then you don't really care about the exact difficulty of the method. You just need a method, and ideally you just pick the most straightforward method that will help you get there. And so that's why I realized it's very important to first of all identify what your goal is, and then find just the quickest way to get there. And sometimes the quickest way is oftentimes the easier way. Or another example is, let's say with studying, you can take the straightforward path, which is typically just writing non-linear notes and doing practice questions, and that's all you need to do. Or you can do all this other stuff. You can highlight your textbook, make all these pretty notes, go to all these tutoring classes. You can do all of that. Or you can just take the most straightforward path to your goal. And it's not about, 100% this, 100% that. The actual approach you take may vary depending on your own circumstances. But what I'm saying is, oftentimes we overcomplicate the path needed to achieve our goal. For example, with the study example, I used to be that student who used to do all this weird stuff with their notes, make it all colorful and pretty, when in reality, that's not what I needed to do. My goal was just to get good grades. My goal was not to make a bunch of pretty notes that I could then sell. That was not my goal. So always remember, the analogy of the soccer ball. How are you kicking the soccer ball into the goal? Are you doing this weird shit? Or are you just directly kicking it straight in? So with that in mind, don't always pick the easier path for the sake of it being easy, but you should pick the easier path if it is the smart decision to do.